CSI Kimberly Wong.
Okay. Do you recall the SAPD case number associated with this case?
Not at the top, ma'am. If I can refresh my memory with my report.
Did you prepare a report at the time of the offense or shortly thereafter that would help refresh your memory?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm showing you it's been marked for identification only as State's Exhibit number 23. Can you take a look at this document?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you recognize this document?
Yes, this is my report.
Okay, and you've seen it before, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and if we look at the second page, does that contain your name?
It is.
And is that your badge number at the time?
It is.
All right, and would this help refresh your memory if you need it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you do need to refresh your memory, if you could just read it and not read from it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now going back to the date of the offense, can you describe the scene that you encountered upon arrival at the location?
Yes. When I arrived, I remember several officers there, several citizens there. Crime scene tape was up. There were several patrol cars basically securing the crime scene.
Okay. And just to back up a little bit, what is the SAPD case number associated with this call?
That's going to be SAPD 1708-9350.
And you mentioned earlier that you were working with CSI Kimberly Wong. Do you recall any other CSIs that were assigned to that scene?
Yes, Catherine Andrews.
Okay. And so specifically regarding your role at the scene, what was your role at the scene as a CSI?
So I was requested at the scene just to record with a digital camcorder to document the scene and the evidence and the deceased.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as State's Exhibit number 24. Can you take a look at that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And do you recognize what that is?
Yes, ma'am. It's a crime scene video that I observed on 1/30 of 25, which I marked with my initials and badge number.
Okay, and is that how you are able to confirm that what is contained upon the disc is the crime scene video that you took at the time of the offense?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it a fair and accurate depiction of the scene at the time?
It is.
And has it been altered in your knowledge to any way?
No, ma'am.
All right. We are tendering to defense for inspection at this time. The state offers State's Exhibit number 24.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, State's Exhibit number 24 is admitted without objection.
May we publish on it?
Yes.
Can you just briefly explain to the jury what that is?
So this is what we call a photo board, just basic information, case number, my name and badge, the date, the district that that area was given, and then the camera, Golf Victor Charlie 5, GBC 5.
And were you using a camcorder to document this?
Yes, ma'am, a digital camcorder, yes, ma'am. Yes, this is has an evidence placard, number 1, which is next to a parent spent shell casing.
And is that what we're looking at, just a more enhanced version of view on shell casing?
Yes, ma'am. It's just another close-up of this casing.
Can you explain to the jury what you're doing at this time on Sue's exhibit number 24?
So, communicating with CSI Wong, I was advised this was the path the vehicle.
Objection, hearsay, speculation.
With regards to hearsay, any response tape?
With regards to hearsay, it's not hearsay, he's not saying exactly, he's not relaying what was told to him by CSI Wong, he's explaining why he's traveling, the path that he's traveling.
So are you offering it for the truth of the matter asserted?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the objection is overruled.
You can answer the question.
This was the path apparently taken by the suspects, which I was trying to document through video. And to my knowledge, it was after the shooting. evidence marker number 2 is a orange or tangerine.
And is that something that would have been preserved from the scene?
Yeah, so it was collected and processed.
Okay, and is that something that can be stored in the property room or no?
No, it cannot. Our policy doesn't allow it, just for common sense. If you leave a food item in a property room, then the bugs and ants or whatnot would get to it.
And who processed E2 and State's Exhibit number 24?
Kimberly Wong.
I'm pausing State's Exhibit number 24 at 10 minutes and 48 seconds. Can you please explain to the jury what's depicted on the exhibit?
Yes, it is a water bottle, mark number 3.
We're zooming. And is that just a different vantage point of E1?
Yes, ma'am, just a different perspective of E1 and the other evidence as well.
body, there's nothing marked, but do you recall what that is?
It's a bag of apparent marijuana.
And being shown is that gunshot residue testing collected.
Yes, ma'am. An apparent gunshot wound to the right side of the deceased victim.
Do you know what is going on just as of number 24 right now?
To my knowledge, the
Objection calls for speculation.
That would be, overruled. You can answer the question.
she's making her markings, labeling the deceased for their documentation.
All right, Detective Flores.
I'm going to be showing you what's marked as State's Exhibits number 25 through 31 inclusive. If you can just take a look at those.
Your Honor, excuse me for interrupting.
Yes.
Can we just have the witness tell us how long that video was? How much time?
Tony, if you can, give him the timestamp for your video.
The
length of that? Sorry.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay. And so you've viewed states 25 through 31 inclusive before, haven't you, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And are they fair and accurate depictions of the scene and people at the scene on the date of the offense?
Yes, ma'am.
And have they been altered in any way?
No, ma'am.
All right. And then regarding State's Exhibit number 32, can you go ahead and take a look at that for me?
Okay.
Do you recognize what that is?
Yes, this is CSI Wong's crime scene photographs, which I viewed on 1/30 of 25 with my initials and badge number.
Okay, and your identifying marks on there, is that how you're able to confirm that it's the same thing that you viewed previously?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and when you viewed them, are they fair and accurate depictions of the crime scene as you observed it on the offense date?
They are.
Have they been altered to your knowledge in any way?
No, ma'am.
Tendering to defense for inspection.
State offers State's Exhibit number 25 through 32 inclusive.
No objections as to, you said 20. No objections to 25 through 31. May I briefly void hour as to 32?
Yes.
Good afternoon, officer, how are you?
Good, sir. Thank you.
You said that that this disc contains just still photographs?
Can I see the disc? Yes, to my knowledge, these are crime scene photographs from CSI Wong.
Okay. And you say from CSI Wong, in other words, you didn't take these photographs?
That's correct, I did not.
Okay. But you believe that these photographs were taken on the 23rd of April, 2017?
That's correct.
And you base that on your visual observation or based upon something you read from Kimberly Wong?
So I observed those photographs for pretrial purposes. And so that's our standard procedure at a scene. They take photographs. When it comes down to trial, I'll view photographs if they were mine as well. But in this case, I did observe those photographs. If that's what you're asking?
Well, I'm asking, when you looked at these photographs, were these photographs something that you recognized because of things you recalled from physically being there on April 23rd, 2017?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay, so it wasn't based on just something you read from Ms. Wong that led you to believe that these were taken that day?
I was there at the scene. The photographs depict what I saw at the scene.
Okay. Your Honor, if I could have just a brief recess to look at the disc and see its contents, I'm not sure I know exactly what's on it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a brief break. We'll have us back here at 4. Remember my previous instructions.
All right, for jury.
us plenty of stories.
I'm so sorry.
I can't remember what's what, so I don't.
Is that the one you put up here for somebody? Oh, he's got it.
23, right?
Yes.
Okay, it's just, okay. Just wanna make sure.
He told us about the road trip. And about the side of the road. He's like, that's when I knew.
Oh, Your Honor, I'm mortified. I'm speechless.
He's like, that's when I knew.
Yeah, I'm ready to proceed.
All right, so, just so you know, before we go on the record, or maybe you wanna be on the record, I told your wife, you told us the story about why you decided to propose. I didn't know if that was a secret or not. She said she's mortified that you would tell that story.
But it was true.
It's a true story, but she's like, I don't know if I want that shared.
I did say it while she wasn't here, and I'm shocked that the court would snitch me off.
Well, here's the thing, now you know I don't keep any secrets, and it's the.
I don't think after 55 years I've got that either, Your Honor. Your Honor.
We're females, we share everything.
Well, well, you should.
All right, so we're on the record, and there was something, you wanted on the record, counsel?
Very briefly, Your Honor, and it's sort of an anticipatory objection. Under 403, that was right at 25 minutes on Thursday afternoon that it took, I believe, under 403's prohibition of cumulative waste of time, it does use those words, and it did focus considerably on morbid video of the deceased.
And counsel, I'm sorry to interrupt, but for the record, which exhibit?
This last video,
All right, and
which
this.
is State's Exhibit
I believe it's 24.
24, Your Honor.
Okay.
I would at least like to ask through the court, we didn't object, we patiently sat through it. I think they've seen enough in terms of repetitive pictures of the same thing. Perhaps the path of the vehicle was part of that, but it showed the same thing over and over and over again. I would only like to ask able counsel for the state that if they've got other videos of this, that they consider Rule 403's admonition, and that we not have to sit through that, and on a late hour like this.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, the objection will be noted.
Thank you.
All right. Any, response?
We only had one crime scene video.
All right.
Well, then that solves the problem.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, counsel.
You're welcome.
I did warn
gonna say where.
I'm sorry, I stitched you up.
Yeah.
All right, and do you know, code council has, finished watching the,
We're all there.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, Judge, I'm sorry.
See, I can't see.
They're standing there watching.
Yeah.
Sorry, Judge, we're behind your monitor. I think we just went through all of it. Our objection would mirror Mr. Goldstein's. It appears that these photographs are still photographs of every single thing that the video we just watched for 25 minutes documents. So under 403, I think it's cumulative. And I think it's a bit unusual to run the predicate for authenticating photographs with a CD full of those images. There are how many total photographs? 139 photographs are being admitted through one exhibit number. That's problematic both for the record and 150, Your Honor. Photographs being admitted through one exhibit number. And as to the other point Mr. Goldstein made, some of these photographs depict the corpse of the deceased and are of a morbid nature. There would be no additional probity to having still photographs of them, given that we've already admitted a videotape that documents all of the same subject matter.
And we have stipulated and acknowledged before the jury these facts that shows. It's not an issue of whether he was killed by a bullet wound.
so you're stipulating that
He
was
the
murdered?
autopsy is correct. That he died of a gunshot wound. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and you're stipulating that he died of a gunshot wound, and are you stipulating to the fact that it is the actual complainant that's listed in the indictment?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state
So we've
this.
got enough.
All right, so state the defense is saying they're stipulating that the complainant named in the indictment is the deceased person, and they're stipulating that the deceased person died by gunshot wound?
Yes, Your Honor, and we have no objection to them pointing out the stipulation to the jury.
All right, and are you, what else is being stipulated to in the indictment? Is there anything else being stipulated to in the indictment?
No.
Isn't that enough?
Well, I mean, I was, you know, there's the firearm, there's the deadly weapon.
Right. We'll stipulate there was one 9mm weapon taken from one of the co-defendants. If there was a 9mm, we believe that it's correct. The 9mm spent shell casing. Here's what I'd like to do is just rather than prolong this, I'm just hoping that the state will agree that they don't need 150 pictures. The jury has seen 25 minutes of a video of the deceased. We've stipulated to that. This is.
All right, so it appears to the court that the state has photographs there.
Yeah, we do, but, I'll look to try to accommodate their objection.
All right, and so state, would you be, then withdrawing 32 and having actual photographs for the court to view?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so they're gonna, withdraw State's exhibit number 32. If there are stipulations, if you all wanna write up the stipulations.
Hey, Judge, sorry, yeah, I interrupted you, sorry. But yes, if they're stipulating to the fact that the person that is named in the indictment, Mark Salvador, was killed, we can, write up stipulation that can be signed by both parties and enter into evidence. That might curtail having to bring in
150 photographs.
well, not only that, but a medical examiner.
There might be other reasons for the medical examiner.
I will make sure as the oldest member of this group that we'll consider that.
Okay.
Because
Well, we'll still bring him in.
As long as they're available. Yeah,
we will advise you next week.
Okay, so
I had
Cindy,
hoped we
so
could
just one
finish.
second, Cindy, we're off the record, cause now they're having a conversation.
Sorry, Judge.
That's correct, Your Honor.
But
And it's hard for.
I'll have a
you.
conversation with them later about that portion, and we'll go through these photos right now and determine if we wanna present just a more limited number of photographs, and then we'll present that to them. If you,
25 through 31. On the record, I didn't admit that yet because I was waiting to see what happens with 32.
Okay.
So the photographs,
So are we on?
no, we're not on record. So the photographs to 32, I'm sorry, the video for 32, you have those in photograph form?
Well, 32 was a CD we have actual, like, printed out that we can.
All
We
right,
can
so,
look at it.
and are the photographs that you have, that are the photographs that are the stills from 32, are you gonna seek that through this witness?
It would be, yes.
All right, so if you all will look at the photographs and see if you can agree on the photographs that are going to be offered through this witness. If you can't, you know, you lay your foundation in front of the jury, the court will review it, and the court will make a decision.
Thank you.
So if y'all, defense, if y'all wanna.
If I could just speak with Jason really quickly.
Okay,
and then
sure.
I'll get with him.
All right.
It's understood, but this is.
All right, any objection to me letting the jurors know that I'm gonna have them come back at 4:20 instead of 4 o'clock?
That's fine.
That'd be fine, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm gonna go let them know, because I don't like the jurors to think that it's anybody's fault.
We appreciate that.
All right, so 4:20.
Thank you.
Oh, and is there, State, do you have, other witnesses after this witness?
Yes, we have two, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm gonna ask the jurors if they're okay with staying late for, a couple more witnesses as well.
We have no, that's fine. Your Honor, for tomorrow, if we could be thinking in the scheduling,
We're gonna start at 10.
all right, I had an associate, the senior associate in our office is receiving an award as the outstanding, graduate tomorrow at noon at St. Mary's.
Okay.
I would like to attend that if
Oh,
possible.
just let me know what time you need to leave for that.
I think if I can just go there and be there, if we are gonna be coming back at 1:30, it might help if I have an extra 15 minutes or
Oh, no, that's fine.
You know, with the Final Four, I assume everybody will be in place, but the traffic is gonna get,
No, that's fine, we'll wait for you.
thank you, Judge.
And speaking, it's just, since we're on that subject, Judge, I know we're taking a little break, but, we do have the medical examiner that would be available only tomorrow morning at this particular point. But, I mean, if we start at 10 or whatever time.
Well, I'll tell you what, since it's the medical examiner, then Norma, the people I have coming back tomorrow, send them an email, let them know that we're gonna have to start with them at 1:30,
Okay.
and then you all will be here at 9 tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
So 9 a.m., then we can break so you can go to the event, and then we'll be a little bit late anyway because I'll have docket at 1:30.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Now let me tell the juror 4:25 now. Okay.
I got a little bit of time.
So these are, I mean, they're just contained on the CD, but if you wanna just take a look at, it's what we're pulling off the CD.
I'll run to the restroom. real quick.
Okay.
I know.
doesn't work.
Judge, is it better to order you a chair, or see if this chair is under warranty and try to get you one?
They are,
I called him.
tell them I need one with back support.
Samantha's gonna come and look at it, so we can let her know what you want.
Okay, awesome. Cause it's not comfortable at all. If anyone needs to go to the restroom, now's the time. I told the jurors 4:20.
425.
Okay. There's no roads here.
Oh, she still can't believe that I told you.
But you know what? Let me just tell you, I admire that, because I've done that before. Because we would drive to the country all the time, and as you can imagine, it's mom with, us little children. And then, you know, hey, it's like, let's pull over.
Yeah, 'cause how many children?
Oh, it was me, my two brothers, of course, guys, whatever, it's easy for
Right,
y'all.
but I know, but kids, when they need to go, you
Oh,
better
let
go
me just
take them.
tell you, we had some of the strongest thighs in the country because
I bet.
you had to, you know. But you didn't do that now, you know, it's a shame.
Well, we used to go in British Columbia road skiing, and she would go. Enough said.
Yeah.
Do what we have to do.
Oh, yes,
Judge, real quickly,
yes.
so I showed Mr. Hunter the pictures, we're agreed on them, it's only gonna be three. But since I'm withdrawing 32, do you want me to just mark these 32 through 33, 34, or do you want?
Oh, well, see, the record is, oh, Sydney's that, not that. I didn't think you said, when you were putting it on the record, did you say 32 a CD, or did you just say states exhibits 25 through 32?
I believe I said 25 through 31 inclusive, and then 32. I don't believe I identified it as a CD.
So if you didn't identify it as a CD,
Let me just double check.
then you.
Thank you.
Texted him.
Did I identify something that marked number?
Abraham Maxey, you're the one who number 32. Okay.
But I want the judge needs to change the camera. Or you might ask her. Does the judge need to talk to you?
Yes.
He's gonna meet till now.
Okay, just step back.
Oh, yeah, but I forgot because I asked a witness and he said it's a CD containing the.
Okay.
We ordered him.
All right, well, what you can say is that you're gonna roll through. Jerry, if you have no objections, what she can say is she's gonna withdraw states exhibit number 32, which is the CD with photos on, and substitute, photographs instead of the CD.
That is perfect.
All right, so you can say that, like that,
Okay.
and then you can just
Start at 32.
start at 32.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then 25 to 31, she's gonna commit, or what?
They're going to.
Well, I guess I should go to the restroom too. It'd be a shame. I didn't. that's why I'm gonna send you the link, so I'll log into it, but I'll be on a different computer. Yes. Yes. I know, but you know what, let me see, you know what? Wait, you know what, I tell you what, let me call you back, I'm gonna see if I can do something. Alright, to the back. Are there any UTSA students here
Current or former?
in my class? Von House. Can you come forward? Welcome. Okay, I need to keep on this paper too. So my class is at 7:30. And I'm gonna be able to do that because I'm go along and have other things to do with the attorneys afterwards. Do you know how to go on their chat system? What kind of? Oh, it's trial advocacy and appellate law. What I can do is I can sign in and see it. I'm gonna try to, you know what, I'm gonna try to sign in and contact one of my students.
You should be able to. Do you have a TA?
No, they keep saying they'll give me a TA, do I have one? No. But, okay.
Yeah, because your TA would be able to. But did you also, did you come today?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good. Oh, tell her I said happy birthday. Oh, that was another case.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's so cool. I don't know. I didn't know you did like in between.
Oh, yes, because we have a docket and we have, it's a, where's our docket? Oh, this is our docket today. So, we had all of these in addition to this trial. So, that's what we were doing.
But that's small. That's small.
Yeah, that's a small docket, and this is even smaller, this is what we have for Friday.
Can you just put that with your other document, the document sheet, just?
It's
I
not
forgot
small,
to add.
here we go. For this trial? No, so the state, I think they may be, they may rest tomorrow, it's possible, I'm not sure. But after they finish with their case, the defense may call witnesses if they have witnesses.
Monday I do that.
Yes.
Great. I
Yes.
was gonna be gone for the weekend. I
Okay.
wasn't able to. My other professors tomorrow, took on the professor who's south of the south.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's the one who's supposed to pick up in court. He was just saying until Friday. Until Friday. I didn't know if that was.
Oh, yeah, Monday, and, Monday it'll be at 1:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, come by anytime.
Yeah.
And if you need to talk about anything, just let me know.
I think I have you back tonight.
Campaign and election law?
Yeah, and I went to the jail with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we.
Interesting, don't put any money on anybody's
I
books.
will never, not for me. I told our judge, you said something, I really started looking into, how she was there and how she was in what's going on, because we had really put people on jail. That is something that's been happening a lot. It's like I'm trying to do this. I'm not getting, but I've been leaning more into the civil law, and of course, I love this option.
Well, I tell you what, if you don't have, if you don't have a chance to do civil or you don't know who to connect with on the civil side, just let me know. Yeah. You're welcome. All right, you too. All right, are the parties ready?
Yes, Judge.
Y'all ready?
I believe so.
All right, let's bring the jurors in.
Oh, they're live.
All rise for the jury.
All right, everyone, please be seated. All right, so, State, you had previously offered State's Exhibits 25 through 31, and there were, no objections, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So States Exhibit 25 through 31 are admitted without objections, and with regards to 32, State?
Judge, we are withdrawing, State's Exhibit number 32, identified as a CD, and instead we will, offer still photos.
Alright, and that's still photos from the CD?
That's correct.
Any objection?
Well,
I guess.
I'll lay the
And
predicate.
I'm sorry, what numbers would those be?
It would be 32, 33, and 34.
Alright,
And
thank you.
I'm gonna lay the predicate then tender.
Okay.
Thank you, sorry.
All right, Detective Flores, if you could take a look at what's been marked as States Exhibits number 32, 33, and 34, please.
Okay.
Okay. Are those a fair and accurate depiction of the item that's depicted on the scene on the day of the offense?
Yes, ma'am.
And have these been altered in any way?
No, ma'am.
All right. Tendering to defense for inspection and offering States Exhibits 32, 33, 34, and 35.
No objection.
Alright, States Exhibit 32, 33, and 34 are admitted without objection.
Permission to publish, Your Honor.
Grant it.
Alright, now, Detective Flores, I want you to take a look at State's Exhibit number 25. Can you please explain to the jury what is depicted in State's Exhibit number 25?
Yes, so this is the crime scene. I'm on the left, holding the camcorder, and the female with the blonde hair is laying a placard E1. That's Kimberly Wong.
Okay. And State's Exhibit number 26.
And this just appears to be from a different angle. I'm the one standing up, and Kimberly Wong is the one kneeling down.
And she's marking what's labeled as E1, is that correct?
That's correct.
And that's documented in State's Exhibit number 24, your CSI video.
That's correct, where E1 was at.
State's Exhibit number 27.
And again, this appears to be her placing the placard or kneeling down by the spent shell casing. And I'm standing there as well, same spot, same area.
And you're in the photo, is that you right there that I'm pointing at?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're actively looking in the area and direction of Kimberly Wong, is that correct?
That's correct.
This is just out of order, but State's Exhibit number 31.
That is the medical examiner starting her examination, and then the E1 placard is next to her.
Alright, and what is the time reflected on that photo?
I show, it says 2354, date for 2317.
And State's Exhibit number 28. Is that Kimberly Wong obtaining E1?
Yes, that was female in the blonde hair to the left of the picture, reaching down and collecting E1.
State's Exhibit number 29.
That is myself in the middle. On the left is Catherine Andrews, and to the right is Kimberly Wong holding the envelopes for the evidence.
And State's Exhibit number 30.
Same thing. I'm standing in the middle. Catherine Andrews standing to the left, and Kimberly Wong's to the right with the evidence bag.
State's Exhibit number 32.
The evidence marked. E1, which is a spent shell casing.
State's Exhibit 33.
of the spent shell casing, which was E1.
And states exhibit 34. Sorry.
And spent shell casing with the number 1 placard.
All right, now, are you aware of any physical evidence that was seized under SAPD 1708-9350?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I am going to show you it's been marked as State's Exhibit number 35, 36, and 37. Do you recognize these items?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And are you the one that brought them to court yesterday?
I did.
All right. Now, starting with State's Exhibit number 35, is that labeled as E1 in Kimberly Wong's report?
Yes, that is labeled E1, and that is on Kimberly Wong's report.
And it's also documented on the CSI video State's Exhibit number 24 that you created, correct?
That's correct.
And you personally observed Kimberly Wong mark E1, which is State's Exhibit number 35.
I'm gonna object to leading the witness through this predicate.
All right, the objection to that question will be overruled.
You can answer the question.
Yes, she did place the placard on the evidence.
Okay, and did you observe Kimberly Wong seize E1, State's Exhibit number 35?
Yes, she collected the evidence.
Okay,
E1.
Sorry, go ahead.
She did collect the evidence E1.
Okay, and so prior to today, you've gone to the SAPD property room, is that correct?
That's correct.
And you had a chance to observe State's Exhibit number 35, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, and are there any unique identifiers that link this to the scene and to Kimberly Wong?
So in the front is a barcode with the case number marked E1. It's also labeled 1 spent shell casing with marking Blazer 9mm Luger. And
Your Honor, I'm gonna object to the witness reading the labeling on the packaging. That's obviously hearsay and confrontation since he didn't generate the label or the barcode.
All right, until it is offered into evidence, the objection will be sustained.
Thank you,
Motion to
Judge.
instruct the jury to disregard the testimony.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please disregard the last question and the last answer.
Motion for mistrial.
Denied.
All right, so let's just back up a little bit, okay? Regarding State's Exhibits 35, 36, and 37, previously to today, you've gone to the SAPD property room, is that correct?
that's correct.
And you personally observed these items?
35 and 36, 37, no.
Okay, so 35 and 36, you have gone to the SAPD property room, correct?
That's correct.
And you observed them at the SAPD property room.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and regarding 35, when you opened the package and looked in it, did what is contained within State's Exhibit number 35 contain unique identifiers specific to Kimberly Wong?
Yes, it had her initials, KW, and her badge number.
And is that the same with State's Exhibits number 36?
Your Honor, I'm gonna object to this line of inquiry as, again, hearsay. It's all coming from material that he read off of the labeling and the documentation, all of which was authored by a different witness, also confrontation.
All right, that objection will be overruled.
You can answer the question.
It had her initials and her badge number on the inside of the spent shell casing, as well as State Exhibit 36 on the towel and on the cell phone.
Okay.
Her initials and badge number.
And then regarding State's Exhibit number 36, do you know if she did any analysis on State's Exhibit number 36 when you looked at it?
Yes, so I noticed black powder on the cell phone, which through my training experience tells me that it was processed.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object if we could please take the witness on
Good.
You mentioned that you observed something that appeared to you to be black powder on the cell phone that was processed here, correct?
That's correct.
You did not personally bag or document or do anything with that cell phone other than to record it for the purposes of the video that the state has already offered into evidence, right?
That's correct. I did not process that phone.
You didn't perform any gunshot residue analysis on that phone, did you?
No, sir.
So what you're talking about is something that just visually appeared to you to be gunshot or gunpowder, right? Not
No, sir.
something that you know to be gunpowder.
So I observed it to be the black powder we use to fingerprint evidence.
Fingerprint powder, that's what you were getting at?
That's what I meant, sir.
Okay, you weren't.
I said black powder, that's what we call it, and that's what we call it in CSI, the black powder brush method. We apply black powder onto a, for this example, would be a phone. You would use your brush, go over the black powder to try and develop fingerprints. You would place some tape on that object and try to lift it and place it onto a card, which can be later examined.
So all you're saying is you saw dust that would be used by people in law enforcement to fingerprint the object in question. That's all you're testifying to?
That and the fact that I've read Kimberly Wong's report.
I'm going to object to you asking or saying anything about that report, but something about that report is
To answer your question, yes, sir. I looked at the phone, I saw the powder, and I know it's been processed.
Okay. I'll withdraw my objection. I thought we were talking about something else. Thank you, sir.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. And then regarding State's Exhibit number 37, you have also had a chance to review it as you're looking at it. Is that correct?
Yes, I came into contact with this yesterday.
Okay. And it has, what does it have on it? That's a unique identifier.
The case number and Kimberly Wong's name and badge number.
Same objection, Your Honor. Hearsay confrontation.
Overruled.
All right. Now, regarding State's Exhibits 35 through 37 inclusive, these are all items of physical evidence that were seized under the case number SAPD 17089350. Is that correct?
Objection, speculation, lack of personal knowledge, hearsay confrontation.
Overruled.
You can answer the question.
Just 1 second. Cindy, you need a break?
No, it's. Cough drop. Okay.
Yes, this evidence is collected under this case number.
All right. And looking at State's Exhibit number 35, it's in substantially the same condition as it was on scene. Is that correct? As documented in the State's Exhibit 24?
Objection, speculation.
He testified that he personally observed it at the property room.
I'm going to object to the sidebar of the prosecutor. I'd ask the court to rule my objection.
Your objection is overruled.
Can you ask the question again?
Regarding State's Exhibit number 35, you've previously testified that you were able to view it at the property room. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you observed it, did it appear to be in substantially the same form and condition as it was when it was seized on the off-in state on scene?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. At this time, well, would you like to come up here to view them?
Well, I mean, I think I understand based on this testimony what it is. You're offering those exhibits?
Yes, I am.
You're offering the actual contents of the envelopes, not just the envelopes themselves?
That would be correct.
Okay. Your Honor, if I could have another voir dire with the witness.
Yes.
So just to be clear, you did not collect any of those objects, correct?
That's correct, sir.
And the person who did collect those objects was Kimberly Wong, right?
That's correct.
And Kimberly Wong documented those objects, where she collected them, and gave them their unique barcode numbers, right?
Yes, sir.
You had no part or role in the processing of that evidence, other than to be the videographer in the 25-minute video we saw earlier today, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Your 25-minute video does not actually show Ms. Wong placing these objects in the respective brown envelopes that are now before you today, correct?
On my video, no.
Okay. And, I mean, just, if you know, where is Ms. Wong?
She's not in the United States.
Okay. Is she no longer employed by the San Antonio Police Department?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay. So Ms. Wong is unavailable for all purposes as of the purposes of this trial. You'd agree with that?
To my knowledge, yes, sir.
Okay. And the information that you have testified to do today about regarding these objects, in part is informed by a report that you read authored by Kim Wong, correct?
Ask that again.
The things you have testified to about these objects that are in the envelopes in front of you that the state has now offered, part of what you've been able to talk about regarding those objects is informed by what you've read in Kim Wong's report, correct?
Yes, that's correct. From the scene and what was collected from the scene, it
And Kim Wong's report, correct?
which also connects with my report as well.
Okay, I'm not asking you what connects up with your report. I just would like you to answer my question, yes or no. Is part of what you've testified to here today informed by your review of Kimberly Wong's report?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And, you cannot speak to how Kimberly Wong collected these objects, right? For example, was Kimberly Wong gloved when she picked up the shell casing? Or did she do anything to the shell casing before putting it in the envelope? Those things are not documented in what you have prepared, right?
So I've worked with Kimberly Wong.
I'm gonna ask you just yes or no. Do you have firsthand personal knowledge, visual observation of the exact things that Kimberly Wong did for those objects that are in front of you? Not what her reputation is or how you know her, those things.
So being able to view video from this case from Coban and body cam, I
Okay,
did observe that.
I'm gonna object to non-responsive and ask that the jury disregard that answer.
That objection will be overruled.
All right, so officer, what you're saying is, it's only through looking at other things documented after the scene, some of which has not been put before the jury, some of which is not in evidence at the moment, that you are of the opinion that you can speak to whether or not Kimberly Wong collected these items in an appropriate way, right?
That's correct. I was able to refresh my memory looking at.
Let's just be careful about that. You say refresh your memory.
Mhm.
When you arrived at the scene, Kimberly Wong asked you to walk around with a camcorder and photograph the general layout of the crime scene, correct?
To record with the camcorder.
And that's what you were doing during that 25-minute period that we watched. You're behind the camcorder during all of that.
That's correct. Mhm.
So it is not from your personal memory of what you personally physically saw that day that you can attest to what happened to get those objects in those brown paper bags, correct?
So I remember recording the scene. I remember recording the
I understand you
scene.
remember recording the scene, but you'd agree with me, we don't see Kimberly Wong bagging these objects in your camera footage, right?
That's correct, yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, we would object that the predicate has not been appropriately laid, that the chain of custody has not been established. This individual is not the commencement of the chain of custody, and we have a confrontation right to the person who originated the chain of custody. All of the things that the state has put in evidence are before the commencement of the chain of custody and are not a substitute for it. We would object that this is not the correct witness to lay that foundation. And also hearsay confrontation, to the extent that much of this is dependent upon hearsay in order to be attested to today.
Your Honor, this chain of custody has been established. There's been no evidence of tampering, fraud, or problems in the chain of custody. The evidence has been authenticated as being authentic under 901A, and it goes to weight and not admissibility.
We're not required to demonstrate that there's any evidence of tampering or impropriety in order to be able to stand on Mr. McIntyre's right to have the chain of custody properly authenticated and established by the witness at the beginning or the commencement of it.
25 through 31, which shows Kimberly Wong marking and seizing the evidence.
Your Honor, I can just cite from one particularly regrettable, memorable example because I lost the argument. I can cite the court to Russell versus Stay out of the Austin Court of Appeals for the premise that if there's going to be a confrontation issue with regard to chain of custody, it is at the commencement and the origin of the chain of custody. And Ms. Wong is clearly, I don't think anyone's dispute here, the first person in this chain of custody. Everything this witness attests to is when this evidence is still on the ground and not in custody. I'm sorry, Your Honor, I think we replied at the same time. The court is overruled.
All right. Now, if you could please, oh, you have your glove ready. Do you need scissors?
Please.
Okay. All right. Now, regarding State's Exhibit number 35, can you please open that? And if you could take a look at it and see if there's any unique identifiers on it.
Yes, there is.
What are they?
Kim Wong's initial, KW, with her badge 9440 on the inside of the spin showcasing.
Same objections, Your Honor, hearsay and confrontation.
All right, you can go ahead and put that back.
Put it back in.
Yes. And then State's Exhibit number 36, please. And just what you're holding right here, what is this?
This is a white towel with a teal stripe.
And does it have any markings on there?
It does. It has initials KW 9440, which is Kim Wong's badge number, and the first and last initials.
Okay.
Objections, Your Honor, hearsay and confrontation.
All right. And then regarding this item, what is this?
This is a cell phone, and on the back, initials KW 9440.
And what do you observe on the back of that cell phone?
Same objections, Your Honor, to that testimony about the initials, hearsay, confrontation.
And just so I can clarify, I'm not asking about the initials. What do you observe on the back of that phone?
Black powder. Black powder is what I observe.
And in your training and experience, that's consistent with what?
With the item being processed for fingerprints.
All right. Thank you. You can go ahead and put that back. We pass the witness, Your Honor.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's now Detective Flores, correct?
That's correct.
So, you were talking about observing black powder, and by that I understand you mean fingerprint powder on the phone, right?
That's correct.
And this was the phone that you've come to learn from other officers, including Ms. Wong, was handed to police by a bystander that they believe was thrown out the window of the car. Is that right?
That's my understanding, yes, sir.
Okay. You noticed that black powder, and in your mind, that was significant. You automatically connected that with, okay, the technician fingerprinted, dusted for fingerprints.
That's correct.
You didn't observe that kind of fingerprint dust on the shell casing, correct?
I couldn't observe that initially when I looked at it, no.
And I mean, you have it in front of you today. You don't see any of that kind of fingerprint dust on the shell casing now, do you?
It wasn't as it's not standing out like it was on the phone. If it was, I don't see it.
Okay, so you don't know either way, but it never stood out to you.
Not on the shell casing, no.
Okay. And you don't know whether Ms. Wong dusted that shell casing for fingerprints, do you?
If I'm allowed to go to a report, that's
I'm not asking you what you read from other sources. Do you have any personal knowledge of it being dusted for fingerprints?
no. I was not present when it was processed.
And you don't have any personal knowledge of whether it was swabbed for touch DNA or any other forensic procedures, do you?
No knowledge of that.
Okay. You, in your report, referenced that you went with the camcorder and documented the scene as you observed it, and which you mark in your report as E1, E2, E3, and V. Do you recall writing those initials or variables?
Yes, sir.
And when you're referring to E1, E2, and E3, are you referring to Kimberly Wong's E1, E2, and E3?
Yes, sir.
Or Ms. Andrews?
Kimberly Wong.
Okay. You're not referring to Ms. Andrews' E1, E2, and E3?
This is Kimberly Wong's E1, E2, E3.
Okay. And were you aware of the fact that there may be other E1s, E2s, and E3s in this case?
If there was, I'm referring to Kimberly Wong's E1, E2, E3.
Okay.
If I may,
Well,
if,
thank you, officer.
Okay.
I appreciate it. When you arrived, Ms. Wong and Ms. Andrews were both already present at the scene, is that correct?
I know Kimberly Wong was. I don't recall at what time, if Andrews got there before or after.
Okay. And you're referring to something during my questioning. Is that your report or Ms. Wong's report?
Which answer?
Well, you were reading something during my last question. Is that Ms. Wong's report or yours?
This is my report.
Okay. When you document the baggie of marijuana on that video that we watched earlier, it appears to be in very close proximity to the body. Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
Would it surprise you to learn that Ms. Andrews documented that marijuana to be much further from the body, about equidistant on the other side of the deceased's head from where the shell casing was found?
You're asking me, am I surprised?
Would that surprise you?
I saw the bag close to the body, and that's what I saw.
Okay.
I don't know.
You never saw during the course of your work documenting the scene anyone move the bag of marijuana?
I only saw it when the medical examiner arrived and began her investigation. That's when I first saw it.
And the body was rolled. You see that on the footage, that's when you saw it?
That's when I saw it, and which was on my video.
Okay. Did you have any other involvement in this case after you submitted the videotape to Ms. Wong?
So once I turned in the video, I don't recall any other involvement in the case.
You weren't responsible for processing or handling any of the objects of evidence that the state has introduced through you today?
That's correct. Besides the video, at the scene, no. I didn't process any evidence.
As to how those things were processed, we would need to ask Ms. Wong, right?
That's not my call. That's
As far as you know, Ms. Wong's the one who did the processing of these objects.
yes, that's fair.
I'll pass the witness.
is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Excused by the state.
Excuse by the defense.
Alright, the, rule has been invoked, you're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone as long as this trial continues, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, if you'll remove the microphone, you may step down.
Thank you.
Thank you. State, call your next witness.
The state comes Gabriel Reyes.
Did you say bias, Jason?
Yes.
Take a seat right up here, sir. And just put this on your shirt. And take a seat and the judge will swear you in. Sure.
Alright, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Alright, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so that members of the jury can hear. And if you'll state your name for the record and spell your last name, please.
Name's Gabriel Baez. Last name is Baez.
Alright, state, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Reyes, can you, well, let me just ask you some questions. How long have you lived in San Antonio, sir?
Just outside of San Antonio. Quite a while, about maybe 15 years.
All right, and I'm gonna go ahead, since it's late today, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in and ask you, on April 23rd, 2017, were you in the parking lot near a Jason's Deli and Chick-fil-A?
Yes.
If you could just speak up into the microphone.
Yeah, I'll get closer.
People just need to hear you, okay? And will you please tell me, when you were in that parking lot, did you observe anything unusual in the parking lot when you were standing there?
Initially, no. It was
And then after you were standing there for an amount of time, whatever it may be, did you see anything that caught your eye?
no.
So, did you see anything that day in that parking lot?
After hearing
Okay.
a noise and
Well, let me stop you. You said you heard a noise. What noise did you hear?
sounded like a gunshot or a loud bang.
And can you tell the jury, were you inside a building? Were you inside a car? You were outside of a car or outside of the building? Where were you?
Outside of my car, outside of a building, shopping center.
And what was the, if you can remember, what was the closest establishment that you were to?
We came out of Jason's Deli, and right next to it was like a fabric store and a Chick-fil-A, I think.
So I'm assuming if you came out of Jason's Deli, you had eaten or picked up food?
Yes, sir.
And you say we, was there anybody else with you?
My wife and my oldest daughter.
And when you heard this big bang, it caught your attention, and you said bang, or did you say what else it could sound like?
Like maybe like a like a tire, kind of like a blowout, just a loud, kind of echoing bang. But we were right off the highway, so.
And after that big bang, did you observe any thing happen after that?
I would say kind of like right after, not initially, but car kind of zipping through the parking lot where we were in, and then just kind of leaving.
And you're saying zipping through the parking lot. Can you define that to the jury? Was it moving fast or?
Yeah, it was moving fast. It wasn't a normal, cruise through the parking lot.
And can you tell the jury, was it daylight or was it nighttime?
It was daytime. Don't remember the exact time, but it was after we got done eating. So.
And when you observed this vehicle going through the parking lot, was it, I guess, coming towards you or away from you?
It was coming towards us, but then kind of quickly turned away towards the exit of the main road.
And while observing this vehicle zip through the parking lot, did you observe anything about the vehicle or the occupants or anything?
It was really quick, so I wasn't able to really pay a whole lot of attention. I was kind of focusing on myself and my family. I guess if you kind of explain a little bit more, or if you want me to go into more detail.
No, I mean, it's just what you can remember. I know this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I just want the jury to understand what you saw that day. And I'm just gonna ask you questions and
Yeah.
do the best as you can, okay?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Did you ever collect something from that parking lot that day?
Yeah. I was gonna,
Let me ask you this. Where did that object come from?
Yeah, so, you know, I'm gonna elaborate as the car was kind of going through the parking lot, kind of like in the, quick moment, I noticed, what looked like a phone, something shiny, square, kind of tumbling and hitting the ground kind of right after that car was, leaving that area.
And so, did you observe that phone coming from that vehicle?
Yeah, I mean, it came, just kind of shortly from that turn, in that little area. It didn't look like it was something being ran over, it looked like something coming out of the car.
If you could you determine what side of the vehicle it came from?
I want to say it came from like the driver's side. I don't know specifically which,
Did you ever did you talk to the police about this?
Yeah, I talked about it for, a couple of minutes.
When the police showed up?
Yes.
And let me ask, you collected this what you determined that did you find out it was a phone?
Yeah, after I got my, family in the car and we were kind of debating on what we should do, because of the whole situation, and then, we thought, well, let's go see what that was, and then that's when I, walked up to it, saw that it was a phone, and then I walked around that Chick-fil-A parking lot because I started noticing people heading towards the other side of the building. So yeah, I noticed it was a phone, and I didn't know what to really do at the moment, so we kind of like waited, and then I decided to just go grab a towel and pick it up in case someone, found it or didn't see it.
Okay, well, let me show you what's been marked state exhibit number 36. State exhibit number 36.
I'll show you that. One. Do you recognize the towel?
Yes.
And
Yes.
do you recognize the phone?
Specifically, no.
Okay, but the towel you do recognize, and the phone, it was what was it? Do you remember there was an Apple phone or anything?
No, I didn't really,
Okay.
investigate it.
But then, what did you do with this towel that had a phone? What did you do with it?
I kept it on my possession until we talked to an officer that was on that scene.
And did you hand that phone or that towel that had the phone in it, did you hand that off to anyone?
Yes, sir.
And did you hand it off to the police?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you the marked state exhibit number 38.
And do you recognize that?
Yes.
And is it a photo?
Yes.
And can you recognize who's in the photo?
Me.
That's you?
Yes, sir.
And is this, what do you have in your hand?
That towel and phone.
Okay. And it looks like you're standing in a rocky area.
Yeah, just like the part of the parking lot, little division.
And where did you find the phone that day?
Don't remember specifically this, right now.
Mhm.
But it was in this general area where we were walking around. I was kind of pointing out to where I saw it kind of tumble and flip.
Okay. Then I'm going to show you what's been marked state exhibit number 39.
Okay.
This is, do you recall this map?
Yes.
And is it fair and accurate depiction of what you said happened that day?
Yes, sir.
And I see that you have a circle right here. What does that depict?
That should be kind of the general area where I found the phone.
Mm-hmm. And then I see a line on this map. What does that indicate?
That'd be like the route that we saw this car kind of leave the area.
The car that threw the phone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then I see a circle over here with it looks like an X over it.
Yeah, that should be kind of like the general area where we were parking.
Okay. And then also I see a circle over here. And what is this area?
We didn't physically go to that exact spot, but we were in the general area kind of seeing the crime scene, and I saw like body on the floor, on the ground.
And this circle over here, is that where you witnessed the body?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you mind, no, that's all right. At this time, Your Honor, the state would offer state exhibit number 38 and 39. We'll send it to the defense for any objections.
No objections.
The state's exhibit 38 and 39 are admitted without objection.
May it be published from?
Yes.
Thank you. And that is state exhibit number 38 that you stated earlier. That is you holding that towel with the phone in it.
Yes.
And this rocky area is what is depicted as where you believe that you found it.
Yes, sir.
Or not believe, that's where you did find it in the general area.
Yes, sir.
Okay. State exhibit number 39 is a bird's eye view. And I'll ask you, this portion right here, what does that depict?
That should be where we parked.
And this is where you and your wife and your child were?
Yes, sir.
And this is where you were standing outside your car when you heard the big bang?
Yes, sir. We were getting into the car.
And then that's when you observed, what does this line here indicate?
It'd be like the vehicle route of its leaving.
And that's after you heard the big bang?
Yes, sir.
And then this circle right here?
That's where I found the phone.
And then again, this other circle over here?
That would be where I saw a body.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
At this time, Your Honor, we'll pass the witness.
Right, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. You saw a woman throw the phone out of the car?
I didn't see anyone specific, though.
Okay. I'll pass the witness.
All right, any further questions?
No more questions, please release.
Is this witness excused?
Yes, please.
All right, the rule has been invoked. That means you're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone during the pendency of this trial. All right, if you remove the mic.
Sure.
And you are excused.
Thank you so much.
State, call your next witness.
State calls Daniel Aiken.
All right, and if you put the microphone, now it's the smaller microphone that's to your left. The square.
The square.
No.
I'm sorry.
Right there. On the
Oh,
edge.
got it.
Yes.
Sorry.
No problem. Could you raise your right hand?
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so members of the jury can hear. If you'll state your name for the record and spell your last name, please.
Dan Aiken. Last name's Akin.
State you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Aiken, how old are you currently?
69.
And what city do you currently live in?
San Antonio.
How long have you lived in San Antonio?
20 years.
All right. And did you go to school here in San Antonio?
No, ma'am.
All right. Where'd you go to school at?
San Marcos High School.
All right. And how are you currently employed?
I am a independent contractor with Chick-fil-A, operator owner.
And do you own and operate the Chick-fil-A located at 27 Northeast Loop 410, San Antonio, Texas, 78216?
Yes, ma'am.
About how long have you been doing that?
20 years. Yes, I was.
And when you learned of this incident, what did you do?
I immediately came up to the restaurant.
Okay. And were you able to observe the scene upon arrival?
Yes.
Did you speak with officers on that day?
Yes, I did.
And was your Chick-fil-A at the time equipped with security cameras?
Yes.
Can you please describe to the jury what kind of cameras you had at the time?
They were digital cameras located at various locations on site.
Alright. And some of the cameras, they had fish bowl view, is that correct?
Could you repeat that?
They were like a fish bowl or?
Yes,
kind of view?
yes. I think there were 2 at that time.
And in fact, when you appeared on scene, you had your MacBook with you, is that correct?
That is correct.
And the officers allowed you to enter your establishment?
That is correct.
And you were able to pull up your security camera and begin looking for relevant video, is that correct?
Yes.
I'm gonna object to every question that's been made.
All right, that objection will be sustained as to the last, question.
Did you find any relevant video?
Yes.
All right. Now I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 40. I'm going to take it out of its white envelope. That way you're able to see it. Do you recognize what this is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And does that have what is it?
It's a CD-ROM disc.
And have you had a chance to view what is contained on that disc?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And what does the disc contain?
It contains various videos from that day that were deemed pertinent.
Okay. And that's what you turned over. Those videos that are contained on the disc is what you turned over to San Antonio Police Department?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any identifying marks on State's Exhibit number 40?
Yes, I signed my name and dated it September 20th, 2024.
And is that how you are able to ensure that this is the same video that you turned over to SAPD?
Yes.
Okay, now regarding this recording, was it prepared on a device that was capable of making accurate visual recordings?
Yes.
And did you find your system at the time, your security system, to be reliable and accurate and fairly depict the location?
Yes.
Okay. And to your knowledge, has this been altered in any way?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay. And you viewed it, and it was the same videos that you gave to the police department,
Yes,
right?
they were. Yes,
Okay.
they were.
And on the date and on April 23rd, 2017, you were competent to operate that system, correct?
Yes.
All right. And the recording wasn't made at or near the time of the offense?
What was that question again? I'm sorry.
Well, the video that's contained, it captured the offense, correct?
Yes.
And it was live recording as it occurred?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It was recording as it occurred.
Thank you. I'm tendering to defense for inspection. The state offers this exhibit.
No objections, Your Honor.
State's exhibit number 40 is admitted without objection.
Permission to publish, Your Honor.
Granted.
Okay, Mr. Aiken, what is shown on the screen, can you tell the jury where the camera is located?
It is on the northeast corner of our restaurant building, the back corner, facing Conn's and K&G Superstore.
Thank you. And just to clarify, the view that we're looking at right now, is that a fisheye view camera?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and on the left side of the video, that's
Yes.
And on the right side of the video, that's towards 410.
Right side, I think that was, let me look at the bigger picture. I think that is where TGI Fridays used to be.
Okay, if you take a look at the video,
Oh, I can see the access road, you're
okay,
correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just for the record, CC exhibit number 40 is paused at 1 minute and 40 seconds. And just rotating video for.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object to them, manipulating the video. There's been no predicate laid that that's not something native to the program. I don't want this to sponsor that.
Judge, it's not manipulating the video, it's using the viewer to look at it in a different manner because it's oriented sideways.
That would be the testimony of the prosecutor. I think they need to have someone explain whether, like, how that works.
That objection is overruled.
And Your Honor, I guess just so that the written record is clear, the prosecutor has opened up a dialogue window within the application that's running the video and has gone through a series of menu selections to reach what appears to be a digital representation of a dial, almost like a rotary phone instrument, and has now moved the angle of the image. And as long as counsel doesn't disagree with that recitation of it, I'd just like the record to show that the exhibit, the file folder within the exhibit has been altered by the prosecutor in the course of this through the computer program.
All right, State, with regards to the defense's recitation, has this video changed in the fact that the view is changed, or if, has the contents been changed?
The content has not been changed at all. It is the same video that was just authenticated by this witness that was provided to San Antonio Police Department. The only thing that has been changed is that it has been oriented by the angle so that the jury can have a clearer view of what is occurring in the exhibit, but the contents are not the same, are not altered in any way.
And Your Honor, I would just object again to the prosecutor testifying to that fact. I'm just want the record to reflect visually.
All right, objection is overruled, and the record will reflect what it reflects from defense counsel.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is on the other back corner of the building facing the shopping strip mall.
And I'm going to play a different vantage point from State's Exhibit number 40. Mr. Aiken, if you could just tell us where this camera is located.
This camera was on a pole facing back towards that very first camera, fisheye camera we looked at. TGI Fridays. It's near TGI Fridays, or where it was before.
We pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Just real quick, when you opened your MacBook to give the police the video, what program does your computer use to have the video on?
It's okay. So I'd log on to like Safari, the web browser, and then I'd go to a program called Envision, which you saw the title. You know, for each one of these, you saw the title for that company, and that's our video provider for
Okay.
our business.
They store it on a cloud, I guess?
There is cloud storage, but there's also, what do you call it, DVR? So there is some amount of DVR storage, and then it goes to the cloud.
Okay, understood. Since this was so fresh, it was on DVR, not cloud?
Correct.
But you're not using VLC to look at the video on your computer or in your ordinary practice of the business, right?
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with VLC. Probably I should be, but I don't know.
Safe to say you're not using VLC in your business.
Okay.
Okay.
I would assume that's correct because I don't know what it is.
Fair enough. Pass the witness.
No further questions, excused by state.
Any, is he excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone as long as this child continues. We can leave that, yes.
Okay,
You're
thank you.
excused. Thank you so much.
I sure appreciate y'all. Oops.